Hello people, and welcome back to part 5 of Ilos, our modded Cities Skylines build. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And thank you very much indeed for all the support over the live streams that we've done in Ilos. Since the last episode, we've carried on doing some suburban detailing and expansion. So if you haven't seen these live streams, they are available as VODs after the fact on the channel. And they're good kind of second monitor or second screen viewing right while you're playing. Pick up some detailed inspiration and tips and tricks. Alright. So we've done some really nice things down here, introducing lots of little parkland ideas, taken from Google Earth of course, with heavy inspiration derived from Phoenix for these areas. Cutest little strip malls too, I'm a huge fan of these. I think there's just something about the pawn shop vibe that really nails home something about the Southwest, and I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm getting deja vu from a scene from Breaking Bad or something. However, in today's episode, I want to redesign entirely the temporary diamond that we drew in on stream, just so we had some kind of highway access, but we're playing with mods. We can do a lot nicer things with diamond interchanges now, so we're going to rebuild this today, and also discuss the first introduction of the farm fields into the west of Ilos, which will eventually kind of patchwork this space mixed in with suburban and industrial. We'll get some nice ideas of how kind of Western Phoenix actually operates from an industrial perspective with all of its farmland. But either way, some nice things in store today. Let's get started, shall we? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is totally redesign and rejig this diamond interchange here. So probably one of the easiest interchanges in the game to draw. But there are several things that we're going to do with node controller, intersection marking tool, and indeed Network MultiTool today as well. The first thing I'm going to do is actually select everything in this region and delete it, because I don't need it anymore, and I want the room to play with. We're also going to terraform the land back out, because we have ever so slightly elevated here. So I'm just going to terraform that back to its original size. There we go, everyone's happy. So a nice flat landscape to work with. This is what we're looking for when we're going to be kind of making this type of interchange, okay? So the first thing we want to do is come into our roads. We're going to grab a 2-lane gravel road, and then using the road tools here, we are going to force the road to the ground, but we are going to increase up to an elevation of 10 meters. Okay, so we're going to be elevated by 10, but embanked essentially, all right? Very nice indeed. Then we're going to match this up with our highways. And I'm going to draw this in straight the way across. Up to there, alright? So of course eventually I will upgrade all of this into highway road, and again just repeat the measurement for the other lane as well. Exactly drawn out as such. Then once our 2 highway lanes are in, I'm going to come back down to earth, turn on anarchy, and then draw a road straight up and through the middle, which will sink it underground, and this can now run off over there, and this can be adapted to fit the new arterial road. So right now we're left with something that looks a little bit like this, okay? Very janky at the minute, but of course we are nowhere near done. So the next thing we want to do now is drawing the slip lanes off the arterial. So we're going to draw these in, and what we're looking to leave here is a distance of 2 tiles between the new road and those existing 4 tiles, leaving a distance of 6 tiles between the arterial and the highway road. So you're looking for 6 tiles here in distance from the road to the slip. Repeat that again on the opposite side. You're going to draw these slip lanes out by 10, Okay, don't need to worry about the fractured zone in here. We're not placing anything. Once you have your slip lanes off of the arterial, you're then going to come back into the middle node of this, what is essentially a bridge with a dirt road, right? We're going to click on this, and then we're going to draw out to the right and the left by a distance of 50 tiles in measurement, which is going to be here for me, okay? I'm going to draw that out. I'm going to turn off toggle road bending here, alright? I'm also going to turn off road guideline grid. So I'm going to draw this out by a distance of 200. A very short measurement here. Let's go for about 14 degrees, okay? Between the highway and the slip. And that's going to be nice. Alright. We're going to do the same over here again as well, for which we can just find the node and then move to the adjacent side of the road and repeat that measurement. So 200 with an angle of about 14. Boom. There we go. Okay, 2 slip roads here. So usually we would just kind of draw these together now, right? Maybe use MoveIt Slope It tool, but no, we're going to use Network MultiTool to do this. So come into your Network MultiTool. Going to grab this little icon here for create curve mode. We're going to click on this segment, and then this one. And then we need to click on the 2 nodes. And that's going to give us a little curve. You can hit enter, and then it will automatically generate it up. If you would like to control the curve and indeed edit it, then you can use this option here. Okay. But for today, we only really need this one. So we'll do the same again. I'm going to click this one here. This one here. It's wrong shape, but we're going to connect the nodes instead. It's going to say, yeah, that's fine. Hit enter, and your highway road comes in perfectly. Ever so slightly curved and perfectly sloped. And everyone is tremendously happy. Okay. Repeat this for the other side. And there we go. So we now have a highway that comes over. Okay, got our slip lanes in, and everyone is wonderfully happy. So now we're just going to upgrade all the roads. You're going to come into your highway roads, grab your chosen highway. I imagine for most people it's going to be 3 or 4 lane here. We're going to force the upgrade into a bridge using the road tools now, and then when we do come to upgrade, we can upgrade perfectly into little node chunks either side of the bridge like this, okay? That's going to be wonderful. And then for the rest of the upgrades, we want to force them back to Earth now, because we want them to go back to the Earth. We don't want these sections here in the approach up to the slip lanes to be elevated, okay? We'll get a touch of jank here as we upgrade, but once we come in with node controller, this will sort itself out. Don't worry about that just yet. And then as the lane merges, we will move up into 4 lane, and this will carry on. And then what I'll do here is we'll use Network MultiTool again. We're going to connect these up. This obviously looks horrific. That's way too steep. So again, we will come into Network MultiTool. We're going to grab the set slope mode. We're going to click the top node here and then the bottom node down here. Hit enter, and it's going to slope it out for us. You can change the gradient if you like by using your plus and minus ones, but I'm happy with it enough to just hit enter first time, and that's going to give me a much more appropriate slope up onto this elevated section of highway as we approach the diamond interchange. Likewise again, so grade your roads over here now as well. And then we're also going to upgrade our middle road into some kind of arterial. I'm going to use a vanilla plus road for this, but of course you can use whichever one you're comfortable with. I'm going to run one of these vanilla plus roads, just a regular 4-lane median. And with the bottom of the slip roads, what you want to do here is go into 3 unit roads and grab the one-way vanilla plus roads, the 3-lane ones. These are the ones that we want. The ones with no parking, of course, and then just upgrade the end segments of the entry roads into this interchange into 3-way. That's fine. That's all we need to do here, right? And also upgrade this one into asymmetrical as well. You do want the 3 lanes facing into the interchange here. Okay. Either way, this will give you kind of a base foundation for getting people on and off the highway. But there is still a bunch of stuff that we need to do to get this to look modded, right? We still have a bunch of things to do. So let's fix the nodes first of all on the slip lanes. Coming into node controller, we want to grab this node here. Want to hit the little icon at the top here to make the end straight, that's fine. And then with the node that is on the slip ramp, you want to shift this out by about 10 meters to the left. And then hit straight road tool again, or straight ends tool up here, this little crosshair in the top right. That's going to make everyone nice and happy, okay? Again, we want to rotate blue to the minus this time because it's on the right hand side. And then hit straight. And then that's going to give you nice, happy nodes like that, okay? So you just repeat this again for the other side as well. And there we have it. So we now have some nice symmetrical slip lanes going off here. Okay, it's not taking up a huge footprint. So now we'll do our traffic manager stuff. We're going to come into our lanes and we want to make these two here turn left. So no right turn right there. Okay, so one right turn in lane and then two left turns. And then the opposite over here. We're going to go for two right turns and one left. Okay, so you can just see how these are configured up. These ones are fine. We want two to go straight on and then one to turn right. Likewise here as well. Actually, yes, on second thoughts, I am going to upgrade my middle road into 6 lane here instead. Yeah, I think I'm going to be happy with that. Okay. So once this is all in, everyone's fine. We do want to actually just re-amend this lane right here. So no straight turn there. Then we'll come into node controller. Grab the nodes and we're going to widen these out to probably, I think 30 meters, maybe 35 meter offset for the entire node. Do the same thing over here as well. 35 meter offset, nice and wide. So right now your diamond should be looking a little bit something like that from the bird's eye view. Whilst we're in node controller, we're also going to hide all markings, which is this little icon under the all column. Hit it to 0 and then all the crosswalks will disappear. You can also do the same here as well if you want, but we will probably offset this and do some little intersection nodes here as well. Do the same here, set it to a 15 meter offset. Add those markings, there we go. Just merges in a little easier, right? Wonderful. So let's get to the intersection marking tool stuff. I'm going to come into the IMT. Of course, going to click our node. So as with the last episode's bow tie intersection, when we're setting up kind of significant intersection markings like this, it's always handy to draw our lines straight across first, because it gives us kind of a base to work with. So let's do that. Okay, so once you have your base frame set up here and you have your kind of lines drawn across and up and down, we're going to come in with our filler, right? And then we're going to grab this one and then fill in this space here. Change this to a grass, of course, you can do whatever you want here. I'm going to offset it from the lines. I'm going to add a little bit of corner radius and then I'm also going to add some curb sizing, which is going to give me a nice happy little filler like this. And again, remembering our copy and paste, so I can copy this entire filler here. And then when I come to add in my new one on this point over here, I can just paste. And I'm going to get the very same style coming in to this one as well. So that's not too bad. Now, likewise again, we can come back into our lines and it's just a case of adding in new rules now, what we've done before. So we can change the 2 point, so this one ends here. Likewise with the one adjacent to it, it's 2 point end here. So by 2 it is literally meaning where does it run to, where does it end. We can choose and decide that with these as well. Same thing here, and then the one next door also. I think I'm also going to decide on a style for my middle roads here. I think I'm going to go dashed. Also going to change them to a slightly brighter white to match the white here. I'm going to increase the space between the lengths of the dashes. Then also shorten the dash length as well down to maybe 0.5. Maybe a little wider than that actually. Okay. Again, I can copy this exact style and then bring it over to my next line and then introduce the dash there as well. And likewise with each of these ones that run left to right, we can do the same thing with also. So with this line right here, I'm going to add in a new rule, and this rule is going to run from this point to this point. This is also going to be dashed road. Okay. So one thing that always helps me with intersection marking tool as well, I'll mention this kind of why we're here, and then it's just from seeing the cars flow across the intersection where you can spot opportunities for fillers and designs and whatnot. Okay. Some people using the new highway slip roads here too. Very nice. Do love intersection marking tool. It's so good. Okay, let's come back into our lines. Now we want to start correcting these ones here. Again, I'm going to say that your 2 point will finish here. And add in a new rule again. Goes from there to there. I'm going to paste my style over. Likewise, exactly the same. This next one, new rule, that goes from here to here. This is going to be pasted in. So now with this middle line, I'm going to grab this one. It is going to end here. It's actually the wrong way around. It has to run from this point. There we go. And then I'm going to change this type to pavement. I'm going to zoom in on this little median here. I'm going to match the width with it. Bring that up to probably about a 1, alright? And that's just going to meet and divide my lanes here. Once you are happy with your intersection markings, it is of course time to discuss some brief decoration for the area. Go into our plants, shall we? We're going to grab some smaller bushes here and place in one there. Maybe one of these little robusta short palms too. Perhaps a red flower. Maybe a white one also, alright? And then just use MoveIt. Just deselect all. Come in and select trees. Give that a little copy and paste with MoveIt. And just rotate the design around to fit the new filler. Then we can come up with some really nice flower designs here for our islands. Okay, as people begin to flow around this little interchange. So I think I'm happy with this kind of intersection marking. Now, of course, all that's left to do is to come back into IMT and grab all of this intersection, this master copy right up here. We're going to come over to the next one and we're going to paste it in. Which of course, it's all backwards right now. So we need to turn clockwise a couple of times until it's mimicked on the other side, right? We're going to hit apply. And our lane maths just want sorting a little bit here. Turn that one off. So they have to turn right. Of course, you can just recopy your chosen flower design for the islands if you want. Come up with different ones for each. Entirely up to you, of course. There we go. That's gonna just look a lot better, isn't it? It looks a lot more like an interchange. And I'm definitely really getting used to using the intersection marking tool now. Really happy putting together these types of designs. Looking forward to the mod tutorial. I think we all are, right? Once we eventually get around to that. So we now have our 2 diamond intersection junctions all marked up and decorated out, which is wonderful to see. So the next thing I want to discuss is the idea of a retaining wall. So you can download these retaining walls off the workshop. There really is loads of them. I've gone for a little cobblestone retaining wall here. And we're going to use this within the area that's free underneath the highway bridges. So to do this, we're going to come into Network MultiTool with your network selected. So make sure that you have it in your toolbar here. You can draw it out. Then Network MultiTool, we're going to come into Create Parallel Mode. All right. Going to hit this node here. And then this one. This is going to draw in that retaining wall for me. And we have a few shortcuts here. We can plus and minus to move it away from the wall. We can bracket to go up and down. Okay. So I want it to be slightly in the highway. And then I'm going to bring it down. Just so it's not poking through the bridge there. And that's going to be fine. I'm going to hit enter. And that's going to create a parallel for me. All right. Now what we want to do is come into MoveIt. We want to be grabbing nodes this time. And then we're just going to drag this node back in there. Okay. Just so it's flush with the pavement of the arterial, which is going to box in this side nicely. Okay. Then what we want to do is actually use the picker to select the node of the retaining wall. And then that's all we're going to select. Click and drag the whole thing. We're going to come into MoveIt's toolbox. We're going to come into these three dots. We're going to hit mirror objects. And then going to click on the highway for which we need segments selected. Okay, that's going to mirror it perfectly on that side as well. All right. And then we're going to come back into the retaining wall. The actual network itself now. And then we want to draw them together underneath. Okay. You can just see that one is ever so slightly just poking through the highway. That's just a case of grabbing the nodes again with MoveIt and just saying just sync down a single page down for me. Okay, so that's kind of one retaining wall in, if you like. Got one of them there. And everyone's happy with that. So now what we want to do is duplicate it on the other side, right? That's what everyone's going to be happy with. So what I want to do now is come in with a pathway. Just any kind of pathway is fine. Then I want to draw in a path that is directly in the middle of the two highways. I'm going to come back into MoveIt. And I'm going to use my selection of just the retaining walls here. Grab all of those. Again, I'm going to hit mirror objects. And I need to also select segments so I can click the path. Hit that, and then that's going to mirror it perfectly on the opposite side of that highway now. And you can see where this is going. We're going to highlight them all again. Again, just making sure that our picked cobblestone retaining wall is only being selected by the MoveIt drag it. Reselect segments, hit mirror objects. You're going to click your middle arterial, and boom, you're going to get your retaining walls on the other side as well. All perfectly symmetrical, all nicely measured. Exactly how you need it. Alright. Just nice little combination of MoveIt's mirror object there and Network's MultiTool parallel function. So, can work with anything as long as it's a network. You're fine. You can do that with roads, whatever. But nice little tip for retaining walls as well. Then once everything is in, just come in with your soften tool and soften everything out. Just so you don't have those very harsh highway ridges. So I'll cover this while we have this happening. If you do get this happening where the cars are just being stupid and they're like, oh no, we can't do this properly, it's because there's too many nodes close together here. So come into Network MultiTool, hit remove the node mode, and then just take away the node that is immediately after the intersection. Because when there's two nodes close together, the AI is like, oh no, we have to slow down, this is dangerous. And it just won't read it very well. So just remove the nodes either side, do the same over here as well, see where it's happening. Just remove this node right here. And then once it's out, the AI will pick it up as, yes, this is fine, we can drive on this, no problem. And they will all fly through. Okay, and that backlog will clear up. And then everyone's happy again. So you can now appreciate the traffic moving around your new diamond intersection here. It's all very fun, isn't it? There they go. I love it. I love intersection marking tools so much. Really is one of my favourite mods. He's going to come here and he's going to take the left turn here, right? There he goes. Yes, please. Onto the slip lane. And then back onto the highway. Amazing. So now we have our retaining wall in. You can leave it like this if you want. You know, you can kind of count this as the final decoration. But I'm not done yet, okay? Of course. Let's have a look at some of the lighting. So if we come into our lights, we do actually have some of the vanilla ones. The ones that are actually used for lighting kind of the after dark stuff, a lot of the nightlife things. And these are great because at night time, these are little neon lights, and I am a huge lover of a little bit of pink light to sit here and illuminate my retaining wall. Okay, let's see if we can get these spaced a little more. Why am I placing them manually? I have prop line tool. There we go. Not that many though. Way too much. Go for some increased space in here. There we go. That's perfect, right? And again, you can use MoveIt's mirror function here. Just come ahead and grab your props. Deselect your little plopper one. So just select those nodes with MoveIt and then come into those mirror function. Mirror them opposite your arterial, alright? And they're going to appear over here too. Super handy feature, that one. And then at night time we can illuminate our retaining wall now. If you aren't a total lover of the extreme bright neon pink just kind of coming out here, because it is pretty obnoxious and loud, then just come in with a little bit of a bush in front and hide the bulk of the light, okay? You'll still get the illumination effect, but the prop in front of the light will just take a little bit of the sting out of the pink. If that's not, that sounds so wrong. Right, so let's move on. Alright, so it's not too bad. Yeah. So you can get involved with some light decoration alongside the retaining wall if you like. And I'm not finished either with decoration. I'm going to come into my pathways and I'm going to come off all of my snapping just temporarily, alright? And then I'm going to move a little bit of bushes. I'm going to draw out a little dome like this. I'm going to come onto my angle snap with a curve tool. Let's go for that. I'm going to make a little circle here, okay? Just a little tiny one. Doesn't have to be symmetrically perfect. It's not what I'm after. I'm also going to do this as well. Okay, just bear with me. It's going to come together. Right, I'm going to grab nodes with MoveIt. Then I'm going to drag you up over here. I'm going to drag you up over here as well, but with a little bit of a rotate so they're not connected together. And then you as well. I'm going to drag you over here. Might be a little bit big for exactly what I'm after, but nothing that can't be fixed with MoveIt. And then by doing this, we now have a little highway turtle. Okay, to decorate our interchange. And we can do a couple of these during our detailing time lapse. But I think I like highway turtle, okay? Little diamond highway turtle person, right? So, there's some different things we can do with our options here. And kind of getting creative with the decoration. But either way, that's going to be it for our diamond interchange. Nice and easy using node controller. Network MultiTool, intersection marking, just to kind of bring what is a very basic, and like I said at the start of the episode, probably one of the easiest intersections to draw. Being the diamond is literally just two slip lanes coming down onto an arterial. But it works, and the mods help improve it dramatically, which is tremendously helpful. But now we can have a look at some farming stuff, shall we? Let's go farming. I have also just realised that we have messed up our turn in here. Don't worry about it. I will get used to sorting out my lane maths eventually. But we're fine here now, right? Okay. I wonder how many people were screaming for that one. But we have it sorted now, okay? So it mimics itself this side perfectly. Everyone's going to be happy this side now as well. Alright. Wonderful. Okay, so we are playing with a whole bunch of new field assets. That really kind of help to rebalance industries, because of course industries is famously unbalanced. And we're going to start out with our first little farm main building here, if you like, okay? I think this is going to be quite nice for us. So thank you so much to Simon for your Patreon support, buddy. Really appreciate it. The first farmland in Bavaria is going to be named after your good self. So now we have our building in. Of course, we can use beautify our builds to change the trees and the colour of the building here if we want, but we'll worry about that during our detailing time lapse. Right now, what we're really interested in is using some of our rural roads here to help position some of these new fields. So if we take a look, for example, at a kind of large wheat field, this only holds 8 workers, when the Industries DLC fields will hold 27, 20, 22. So it's a little more balanced in terms of, you know, how many workers it actually takes to create one of these fields. So I'm going to be happy with that. So I'm going to grab maybe this 2-lane country road here, okay, and perhaps bring this out of this road over here. All right, now we do want to upgrade this one here into the one with the gap, so we get the break in the pattern there. I think we're using the one with grass here, aren't we? So let's do that again. That's going to give us a nice little entranceway here, okay? And then it's just a case now of kind of referencing Google Earth and using your point of inspiration to place these fields as they appear in real life, and they are kind of running in very rigid 90-degree angles and snaps and grids, so pretty easy to place when you're working with farmland like this. Of course, you want to drag out your industry area wherever you plan to do it, and this will be a pretty significant farm. We won't fill out the whole area today. We'll just get our farming area started and start to see the aesthetic of, you know, wheat and crop fields appear in the city, which is a very strong aesthetic of our inspiration. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this road, and we'll use this as just something of a spine to place the bulk of our fields in today. So it's going to function as a regular industry area, and we have a whole bunch of different fields. Let's check some of them out. So this is a extra large wheat field. A huge fan of them. They're really good, all right? So we can click on it. It's going to say not enough natural resource, of course, because we're working with a farm. We have to paint out fertile land, which we can do over here pretty easily. Just need a couple of clicks of it, and once it's all kind of in, we'll worry about tidying up during our detail and time lapse. Let's go ahead and place in another one of these now. Maybe over some. They're big, aren't they, man? They are huge. They're enormous. This is exactly what I wanted from the Industries DLC, you know? Real large areas of field like this. Really cool. Again, paint out some fertile land underneath, so it registers as connected. Now, with the grass sprites here, this is just kind of a problem with the map. You can actually come into Surface Painter. If you paint out a little bit of any surface, it will actually kind of get rid of the grass sprite underneath, okay? So you can kind of see how that works. So if you're wanting to do the same, then you can do it here. All right, so you can just see where the sprites are coming through. Do a little bit of Surface Painter, and then they all go away. Okay, imagine the same thing would happen. Yeah, painting out gravel as well. Gravel is probably a little bit more of an appropriate texture, just in case we do get some bleeding, but all things to worry about during our detail and time lapse, of course. Right. But hopefully now, even with the addition of perhaps some fractured nature reserve fencing, as always, because by far and away my favourite fence, we can hopefully just run this parallel now with field asset, and hopefully get an impression of what our field will eventually look like here. Especially running parallel with the arterial like this. I'm an enormous fan of that. It's very nice, isn't it? Huge. And then what we can use the farm industry assets for the processing, you know, we can now position kind of flour mills and stuff to just pop up in this mass expansive field that will now start to fill this area and satisfy some of that industrial farming demand, which will also allow us to rip out some of that starting industry over there as well, which will eventually all be ripped out. We will tear this out for some kind of like old dusty rail yard vibes once we come to do another industrial build. Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to come ahead and grab this little country road again. I think today's build, especially the farming, is going to look a little uglier before it even starts to look good. I'm going to take out my farm here and then run another little spine down this way, probably up to the highway here. And then we can just pick out another field. And we have some large vegetable fields here too, which are actually functioning as greenhouses, but I'm sure we can change this, right? Maybe go for another large corn. And now, just a case of mixing and matching, taking inspiration and seeing what kind of pattern emerges. And I think what I want to discuss here very briefly is the introduction of some vanilla farming assets in terms of decoration. So I think like we've done here, we have these kind of country roads as the spine through the farms, right? And then we come off into these cute little dirt ones. We also have the 1 unit dirt from the Vanilla Plus as well. Which isn't really that much of a difference, but I guess that's fine, right? And then just by drawing in some of this with shapes, you can pop back into the Vanilla Farming DLC and perhaps just include a couple of these little warehouse and shed looking assets. Come in again and adjust the shape of this little box here. Let's go for another one. Let's grab maybe this little warehouse. Okay. Again, we can continue to use our surface painter in the area. It's getting this very old kind of dusty farmland vibe, and we'll see it start to appear down this road now as the surface painter comes into effect, right? It's going to look alright, I think. And then we can trim this off, and then we can now just grab kind of the spinal roads again, if you like. Move these over and continue to flesh out and surround these little pockets of personality. And we can use farming assets as well, and we will during our detailing time lapse. So we are actually lacking power for the farm, which is fine. We'll provide it with our little rural power lines. We'll bring this down into town. Cross over the arterial. Come over the riverbed. Provide power, hopefully. Yep, it's going to be a temporary connection, but it's also going to help decorate the main road through here as well, with a power line going all the way down. Okay, but we can already see the farm aesthetic starting to take shape, right? It's already on its way. So much. This is such a great mod, all these little farm field assets. So they're going to work perfectly well with the industry stuff, right? You can check out your zone in here and find out you have workers. You know, it's functioning exactly the same. Cooking parlours to make use of, and flour mills. I'm really keen on getting a flour mill to just kind of sit isolated in the fields here. I think that'd be a really nice aesthetic, right? Okay, and what we also have in Phoenix is suburban grids around these farms quite heavily as well. So we'll probably occupy a lot of this space with kind of farmland suburbia, if you like, and do some more arterial things as we kind of decorate this area out. However, guys, that does feel like a good place for a detailing time lapse. We have some more farm area to expand here. I'm going to keep dropping in some fields and then just find a nice place to kind of round off this first farm expanse. Continue to detail the area with these farm industry assets, just dropping them in the fields as and when we want them. I can imagine the maintenance building is going to be really nice out here too, right? Yeah, it is. I definitely changed the vanilla palms into something, one of our palms maybe. Right, we definitely get the vibe and feel, don't we? I love how that one's slightly taller as well. It's like not been cut yet, has it? Very cool indeed. Very cool. Okay. But either way, let's detail it up, and then we'll be right back. Okay guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, likes, comments and shares below really help bring more people to my channel and support me. Equally as much, if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Hope you've enjoyed my kind of updated take on the regular diamond interchange and how we can use intersection marking tool, network multi-tool and node controller to make them a little more important. I've also added in some more highway art around. Again, based off real life, if you just have a look around the highways, especially in Arizona, and they tend to put a lot of art around them, like little kind of public structures and works of art, I guess, is the take-home point here. But I think they complement the highway really nicely. The farmland has actually started out really well. I'm very happy with the kind of very fractured grid shape we've got going on, and we'll definitely start to add some suburbia around this, using Phoenix again as our inspiration, once we come to do that during a live stream or episode. I will also include cinematics of the areas we built on the live streams for those that missed them, so do hang around for the outro charge. There was a ton of detailing, as always, that you guys wouldn't have seen. Otherwise, I will shut up and I will leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.